Hi, I'm Spencer Brown. I'm the Congregation Priest Associate at Washington National Cathedral, and I'm so grateful that I get a chance to talk for just a little bit. Today, I couldn't help but think of a story. In the season of preparation, when the sun goes down so early and we're met with darkness, and some of us go to work in darkness and come home in darkness, and it can be quite dull. But I can remember growing up, we would go out to our grandparents' farm, Mama and Papa, we would call them, right? Everyone has names for grandparents. But going out, especially in November, December, January, often after work or at the end of the day, it would be dark. And driving through pastures in darkness, it seemed like it would take forever. There was hope at the end because, of course, we would end up at Mama and Papa's, where there would be incredible food, laughter, joy, and we would spend so much good time together. But what I particularly remember is in December, when we would go down after going to service at church on Christmas Eve, then we would drive out to the farm so that the next day we would all wake up on Christmas Day together as a big family in the small farmhouse, all staying together where the walls seemed to heave with our breath, and the smell of sage and chocolate chips and good cooking oil permeated everything. So after we were out of church, we would begin our drive. We drive down the highway and turn off the highway onto the country road, onto the 2-lane road, where we had to be really careful. If we saw someone coming toward us, we'd have to move way over, because even though it said 2 lanes, it was really only 1.5 lanes. But the pastures were dark. You couldn't even see the cattle or the horses or sometimes the goats that people had. But every now and again, you would see a little light in the distance. A barn light. And so as you drove, we would count the barn lights because we knew approximately how long it took to get there and how many lights and how many farms there were before Mama and Papa's. And so we would drive up a little hill and then all of a sudden go down and rush down a hill when we knew we were almost there. And so as we rushed down the hill and it even back out again in the distance, especially in December and Christmas, we could see the glow of Christmas lights. Because Papa not only had the light out on the barn and the light on the porch of the house, but the fence that surrounded the farmhouse. He worked really hard to make sure every bulb stood up and every bulb glowed so that it was a multicolored Christmas spectacular. And so in the distance we saw the colorful lights. And even driving through darkness when sometimes it was icy or snowing or it was just windy and cold and we were tired and we were just wanting to get somewhere warm, we saw hope. In this season of preparation, just as my Papa prepared the lights for us, we know that God prepares a way where fear no longer has power or control, where hope invades the world, and where love comes down to be birthed at Christmas. It is in this time that we have a chance to offer this light not only for ourselves and our own hearts, but be a light to the world. And so I pray that whatever light you're able to offer, you keep some for yourself. That as we prepare in this season, that fear can be diminished by the light of Christ and the light of one another, as we celebrate the love that comes down to the world. And thanks be to God, we can feel the rush of light to keep a light on the barn and to have a multicolor, wonderful, spectacular Christmas. Thanks be to God.
This has been a production of Trinity Episcopal Cathedral in Portland, Oregon. Music for this podcast was performed by James Walton. For more information about Trinity and our community, go to www.trinity-episcopal.org.